You're listening to Your High Self Podcast, episode 62. Today, we're talking about letting go of survival mode with Alexandria. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to invest in your mind and doing it with me today. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. And then if you're brand new, welcome. It's so nice to meet you. My name is Shanae. I'm a former WBFF Bikini Pro and fitness and nutrition coach turned master life coach. And as you guys know, my obsession is helping you on your journey to your highest self with your mind, your body, and your heart. And that is what we talk about on this podcast. We're all here because we love personal development. We love growing. And I'm excited for you to meet this week's guest. This week we have a coaching call. Alexandria and I share a very similar story. So if you resonate with my story, with my competing background and body image and food and learning to balance your feminine energy, you're going to love today's episode because we go all into that. And I just wanted to take a moment to give Alexandria a shout out for her vulnerability and honesty today. So it always blows my mind when you guys, one, ask to be on the show, and then two, tell me how much it's impacted you. And one of the reasons why I love doing these coaching calls is to, one, like meet you face to face. So if you would like to be a guest on the show as a coaching call, email me and let me know and we can get you scheduled in. And number two, because I love sharing your story. Like, we all have the same problems, and you might be at home thinking that, you're the only one who struggles with body image, or you're the only one who struggles with the survival mode, or you feel so alone, you feel so broken, you feel like there's no hope. That's not true. So my hopes in sharing these coaching calls is for you to hear other people's story and find yourself in them, and to take a couple wisdom nuggets out of like what her and I talked about today. So we talked about a lot today. Tune in and hear about Alexandria's story from competing to making it in the automotive industry to where she is now as an entrepreneur. We talked about letting go of resentment and survival mode, learning to heal the feminine energy, and literally so much more. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you did, make sure to take a screenshot, post on your story, and tag me so I can see what you're listening to, and go and let Alexandria know. Comment on the post that's going to be up on Instagram and let her know how much this show impacted you. She was so brave and honest and vulnerable to share her heart with us. So let's go and acknowledge her for that. That's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let's get into it. Hi, Alexandria. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so excited. So we connected on Instagram. She sent me a long DM, my favorite kinds. When, I just get like paragraphs. I love it. And she told me her story, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we got to connect. We got to talk about this. So welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to connect with us and being here.
Thank you. It's an honor. I just started following you, and I was like, oh my God, this girl, I want to connect. And I'm really excited to be on.
Yeah, we started talking before we pressed record, and I was like, we're the same person. You got to stop talking. I have to press record. So would you mind telling us just a little bit about yourself and what brought you here today?
Yeah, absolutely. So just the quick little back history. I'm actually born and raised Spokane, Washington. I've been in Arizona for 4 years now. I love it. It's really hot. But gosh, after high school, I went and got married very young, and that was pretty rocky. But I learned a lot from it, and eventually, in my mid-20s, I ended up getting divorced. And after that was really where I was bound and determined to find myself and be successful. And that's kind of where my fitness journey started. I found the gym to be a stress relief and to be an outlet. And then I found, all these gorgeous bikini competitors, and I was like, oh my God, I have to be that. Like, I want to do that. So I did my first fitness competition in 2012 and did all the dieting, just the whole 9 yards. And I fell in love with the gym. And I also poured myself into work, just working a lot. And I work in the automotive industry, which is pretty high stress, very fast paced. And then I also would get a job in the evenings as a server, just to help, pay for everything. And I was on this, I have to be independent, after the struggle with the marriage. So um, it, it took a while for me to kind of realize how much stress I think I just had like adapted to it. And I decided to do a couple more fitness competitions, and again just kind of kept working nonstop. And after my last fitness competition, which was in 2015, the WBFF, amazing experience, but I was just burnt out. And I decided at that point, okay, I think I'm done, like, at least for quite some time. And I had a lot of hormone issues, no menstrual cycles after that. And I was kind of going, what is going on here? Oh my gosh, I had no idea really how much stress all the working out and the job had put on me. And so once I moved down to Arizona, I started seeing a naturopathic doctor, and we tried some Chinese herbs, and I started reading about meditation. And still, my working out and eating, like, I eat very healthy, and I'm going, how come my hormones aren't getting better? Like, it's still not where I need to be. And then I started finally realizing how much it may not just be the physical, like the exercise and the food. It's internal. And then I learned about the masculine and the feminine energies, and I'm going, I need to tap into that feminine energy, because I want my hormones and my cycle to work. I want to be healthy on the inside. And so that's really where I started searching and doing research, and I found you, and just some other sources, for how to fix your hormones, fix your periods. And that's kind of what has really brought me to this point, is just learning how to tap into that feminine energy and love, self-worth, self-love, and heal myself on the inside, not just the working out and the physical part of it.
No, I think we did the same show. Did you do Worlds in Vegas?
Yes.
Me too. That was my
Oh my gosh.
pro show. How funny, huh?
That is so. Yep, 2015.
Worlds colliding 5 years later.
Crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Thank you so much for your vulnerability and your openness and sharing that. I know that so many other people can resonate, because I resonate. I was there too. You had said to me before we pressed record that you were kind of in this like go 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 mentality. So I'd love to like rewind and just like take us back to when you were working 2 jobs, competing in shows, being Miss Independent, really striving to be successful. Where do you think that energy was coming from? Part of it, you said it was the divorce, but do you think there was anything underlying, like a void you were trying to fill?
Yeah, definitely. I did. I felt lost. I got married right out of high school, so I was so young. I did online classes. I didn't go to college. I wasn't single. Like, I didn't have that self-discovery after high school, which I feel like a lot of people do. And I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And then fast forward, 5 years after a marriage that was focused on trying to make somebody else happy, I felt I struggled with self-worth. I I kind of like I numbed myself from any emotions too, because I didn't want to be hurt anymore. So 100% just, okay, I'm going to be this cold person, like no motion. I'm going to go, go, go. And I am going to work the 2 jobs. I pour myself. I spend an hour or hour and a half in the gym, 5, 6 days a week. Because then I didn't have to deal with anything inside. I'm shot. By the time I get home, I barely eat, shower, go to bed, repeat. And that's how it was literally for 3, 4 years straight.
So the distraction,
Yeah.
the go, go, go distraction. At the time, did you know it was a distraction?
No, I felt like this is my thing. I love the gym. Makes me feel good. It was something that made me feel strong. I loved weightlifting. Loved deadlifts. Was like my favorite exercise. So I get in the gym, I put my headphones in, I was in my zone, and I thought, like, this makes me feel confident and strong. Did it really? No, it did. But at that time, that's what I felt.
Yeah, same. It was my outlet. Like, I loved it, and you just don't know until you know. So fast forward to 2015, you just get off stage, WBFF. You're in this most amazing, gorgeous bikini, which, by the way, I have a small fortune in bikinis as well. It's like the one reason why I kept competing.
Right?
Just really like the bikinis. What was it like? What went through your head? What was the breaking point?
Um, I remember a few times, like probably 3 weeks before the competition, it was my niece's birthday party, and we went over to my brother's house, and I remember my grandma and my aunt like looking at me and being like, "Oh my gosh, like I looked like a different person," because that was the leanest I'd ever. I mean, I felt like a skeleton, and I couldn't even have the piece of a birthday cake or that was there. And I remember, and I'm sure a lot of people who have competed, or if you can relate, but that night we stayed at the Cosmo. After the show, it was like, oh my gosh, how much food can I eat? Like, and I ate like a burger, fries, I had a milkshake, I had wine, and then your stomach is like hurts so bad. And yeah, I'm going, it's just not a way to live. And then the fear of, once the show is over, then you feel lost because you don't have that goal anymore. And then I had this massive fear of, oh my God, I'm going to gain weight, because I had zero control over my food. And it's been a long struggle. And like, I just want to be normal. I don't want to think about food all the time. I don't want to be stressed out about working out all the time. And so after that competition, I felt like I need a break. Yeah.
I feel you. So
I didn't listen to my body, that's for sure. And it makes me sad now. Like, I don't believe in regrets, and it taught me a lot, and I wanted to do it. I set out that goal and did it. But oh my gosh, my poor body, like what I put it through. Just it did not know how little sleep I had, how tired I was. I went to the gym, and then I just crushed it, an hour and a half after my body's already exhausted.
you're in your warrior maiden.
Big time.
So how, like, now that we were actually talking, she said she listened to, was that 2 weeks ago, the episode with Lucas. And one of the big aha moments I had in that episode, I don't know if you heard it, but I was like, oh, I had shamed myself for so many years about how hard I pushed my body during comp. And I felt a lot of shame afterwards because I knew better. I was a coach. I knew better. I knew I could have or should have put more time between shows, reverse dieted, spent more time in the off season versus doing like back to back to back to back shows, because same as you, it was a distraction from my healing. It was a big ass Band-Aid.
Yep.
Loved control, and I loved being type A, and it was basically a mask for my disorder, my just the brokenness that was inside of me. And so I'd love to ask you, how are you feeling about that? Like when you talk about these experiences, where do you sit at emotionally with it right now?
It's hard because, like as I was saying earlier, I love my life now, and I'm so grateful for everything that I have done has led me to where I'm at today now. And I am recently engaged, and he is just my world. He's an amazing person, and I'm happy and I'm loving life. And, if I hadn't done those competitions or, gone through that, who knows where I would be. So I'm grateful for those experiences, but at the same time it's hard because I look back and I'm saying I like want to give my former younger self a hug, because part of me goes, you didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to stress and ruin your body. Like I have been trying to heal my hormones it's been almost 8 years. I'm not kidding you. I'm going, for 3 or 4 years of the extreme dieting and fitness. If I had known what the toll that was going to take on my body, we want to have kids in the very near future, and it was a really scary thought for me if I was like, if I can't have kids, if I pushed it so far that I can't have that. So it's hard, yeah, because and in that time, that's what I wanted to do. You also look back and you say, well, I would have done things differently. I don't know, would you have though? Because in that moment, that was my goal. I was dead set on it, and I loved the gym. The gym was my outlet. So I want to give myself a hug and give myself compassion and be like, just take care of yourself better. But I'm thankful for learning and not being in that space anymore.
I love
But
that.
yeah.
Have you forgiven?
Oh gosh, probably not, to be honest with you. I'm working on that. Working on it. But that's, yeah.
I think that is the next step in your healing.
Yeah.
So the biggest energy block for healing is resentment. If we're in a state of resentment on any levels, we will not heal. If I'm doing Reiki on someone and they're holding on to resentment for a person or an experience or their past self, even just like the tiniest bit, it'll block it.
So how do we let go of resentment?
How do we let go of resentment? What comes up for you when I ask you that? How can you let go of resentment?
That's tough. So far, all I have found is that I have to unlearn a lot of the habits and things I think I did or I do that are not like my highest self, or that don't help me, that keep me in this place of not having self-worth. And maybe that's that resentment coming up from the past too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love myself, and that's why I pushed my body so hard, because I thought, oh, once I get this tiny and I look so good in this bikini, I'll love myself. Well, that's not the case at all. So I'm on that journey of self-worth and self-love.
Mm-hmm. And are you expecting there to be an end point?
No.
Good.
It's gonna be a journey forever.
Forever.
Every day, for sure.
Literally every single day.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of these habits then. Like what habit what are 3 habits that are not serving you that you have right now?
I would say one of my biggest ones is I tend to go to food when I am in a moment of, if I get stressed. I love my sweets, I love my chocolates, and it's been a struggle. And then I will immediately feel guilty or like feel bad afterwards. But I've noticed every time, if I'm like, oh my God, I can't handle this right now at work, or it's like a distraction. Oh, I'm gonna go eat. And that relationship with food has been very hard for me to let go. I've only just recently let go of tracking macros every day, and I don't weigh myself anymore, which was a huge one.
Woo, thank God.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Yeah. And not tracking every day using my Fitness Pal that I was on a streak of like 4 years for, oh my God, how many calories is in this piece of chocolate or this cookie, or what if I have a whole donut today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I want you to take a moment and just be proud of yourself. That's huge.
Thank you.
People who don't know, don't know. The ones who know, we know how hard that is.
Yeah.
To like delete the app,
Mm-hmm.
not re-download it, not calculate the numbers in your head, subtract, well, this, that. Well, if I do this, just a bite, a tablespoon.
Yep. Or I ate way too much today, so I'll just eat way less tomorrow.
That's a huge step. And so just finding a moment for yourself to be proud of yourself for that versus looking at it like, I can't believe it's taken me so long. I can't believe I did that for so long. So allowing the shame to release from it and then putting yourself in that energetic state, a feminine state of nurturing, receiving, of loving what is versus a wounded masculine, which would then be avoidant and also conflict, like what's that word I'm looking for? Like someone who makes conflict, like that's like a wounded masculine. So you're trying to make conflict within yourself about this really big thing that you let go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I find myself doing that a lot, for sure.
Mm-hmm. For some reason, I can't think of the word. Someone who makes conflict. There's got to be a verb for that. Okay, go on. So one was your relationship with food. That's one habit that's not serving you, but you did let go of weighing yourself daily and tracking your macros.
Yes. I still struggle with anxiety and worry. And I guess, well, part of that goes with people pleasing. I always felt like part of my schedule of go, 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 because I have to get to work, because I have to get this done for somebody else, or to make this person happy. Or I found myself doing a lot of that, and it's still been a struggle of saying no more and yes to myself. That definitely had an effect on me. Just pouring out myself and spreading myself too thin. And like I said, kind of people pleasing or trying to make other people happy, and that worry or that anxiety that I did something wrong, I blame myself a lot, a lot. So that's a tough one. Again, I'm trying to find more self-love and self-compassion and less worry and less anxiety.
Yeah, that one is clean. I feel like anybody who struggles with food, we also struggle with people pleasing. They kind of like go hand in hand a little bit. It all stems from the worthiness wound.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. How does that feel when I say that?
I 100% resonate. I mean, I struggle with it. I have struggled with the self-worth, and I didn't realize that's what it was, until really more recently, when I like, okay, this is what I need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Is I am worthy.
Yeah, you are. You're working on it. So it's not like you're not doing anything. So let's be proud of yourself.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so how can I best serve you today? Because I want to make sure that we kind of like either choose a habit or choose a thought or choose a limiting belief that you feel is going to really like lift some weight off you. That's a big question. I know because you're like, there's all the things. Um, but if there was just one thing like today that we could either lay to rest or just acknowledge, maybe even heal, what would that be for you?
I think it's knowing that I'm enough, um, that self-worthiness, that I don't have to do all of these things all the time. It's okay to relax and be in my feminine and not be go, 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 go all the time.
Okay. Whose love did you crave the most as a child, your mom or your dad?
I'm sorry.
Whose love did you crave the most as a child, your mom or your dad?
Oof, that's tough. Um, I would say it was a daddy's girl, but I felt his love, so I craved my mom's.
And who did you have to be in order to receive love?
Who did I what?
Who did you have to become in order to receive her love?
Well, I thought I had to become someone super successful, somebody that she saw um, as successful, somebody that she could be proud of.
Did you have to become a people pleaser?
Yeah, I think partly I did. Yes.
Did you have to do a lot of stuff?
Yes.
Did you have to be kind of perfect?
Yeah.
So what happens is, and like I say this every single time I talk to people about inner child healing. Inner child healing is just another form of self-discovery, just getting to know yourself a little bit better. And when I ask these questions, it's not on any way like a dig at the parents at all. But what happens is that we learn as a child, we learn what receives love and what doesn't receive love. So we amplify the parts of ourselves that does receive love, and then we downplay the parts of ourselves that doesn't. So if you learned from a young age through your own experience, not with like your parents saying anything to you, but the more I do this, the more I think she'll see me, the more I think she'll accept me, the more I think she'll value me.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So your jobs, the doing the shows, this this like inner drive, is it, and this is how I describe it, it's like a craving.
Yeah.
It's like this like, it's gonna sound weird, but you know how sometimes when you have a bruise and it feels good to push on it?
Mhm.
Do you feel like your drive to be successful is like that, where it's like you cannot put your finger on why you want it so much, but you just want it so badly?
Yes. And I can even say there was a time I remember right before my last competition, I'm jogging, doing my cardio by the river, and I almost was in tears because I'm like, I just want my parents, I want my mom, my parents to be proud of me. That was my thought.
Mm. And that is the energy that drove those successes.
Yeah.
But what happens is that we attract the energy that we're in, right? So if we're in a wounded inner child energy where we're trying to do all these things to be seen, to be accepted, to be loved, and then we don't get those things, it reinforces that story that I'm not good enough, I'm not accepted, I'm not loved.
Yeah.
All this stuff, and they're still not proud of me. And then it just builds in that bank of that false story, right?
Yep.
So, what parts of yourself did not receive love as a child?
I think it was I don't think I felt like I had enough attention, or yeah, maybe it was I didn't feel like a lot of warmth, hugs. Um, I would get of course they would say, we're proud of you when I did good in school, or I did the choir recital. But I think it was only at those times when it was something big or bigger, not every day, like receiving love. So maybe that's where I felt like I had to do the big, like the competition. That's
Mhm.
a big thing. So then they'll be proud of me. They're not just proud of me every single day.
It also sounds like you were rewarded for your achievements and things that you did outside of yourself versus like who you were being every single day.
Yeah. Yep.
If we could rewind ourselves and take you back to a time when you were kind of craving that love and you didn't get it, can you think of a memory?
Um, let's see. I think it was just a lot of it was I didn't really receive um, guidance either.
Mhm.
So part of me just kind of always felt like lost,
Mhm.
and I didn't feel that love of, yeah, you can, after high school, you can go do whatever it is you want to do. I kind of felt like I was on my own,
Mhm.
and that could have been a time where I really felt like, it would have been helpful to have that love, um, just throughout my younger years.
What would you tell yourself?
What would I tell myself?
Yeah, usually I get my clients through a whole meditation. We're not going to do the whole meditation right now. But yeah, like imagine you can close your eyes if it helps helpful, but imagine just seeing your younger self like sitting across in front of you, and you are here right now in your adult body, and your inner child is right in front of you, and just ask her if you can hold her hand. It's okay. She says no. And one, ask her what she wants you to know. And what is she telling you?
That she wants to be loved and accepted, and that she's enough, just as she is, no matter what she does.
And then now you, as adult Alexandria, with all the experiences you've been through, what do you want to tell her?
That you're worthy of love every single day. Gosh, you're gonna make me start crying. Yeah, you're enough. No matter what you do, and that you're worthy.
Mm.
Yeah.
So your inner child is within you, and she's begging to be heard. She's begging to be loved. She's begging to be seen.
Yeah.
And it's now your responsibility to give yourself that love, to give yourself that validation that she's been looking for. Because what's happened is that you've been acting out from a wounded inner child.
Yeah.
So, calling in more feminine energy, tapping into your feminine energy, tap into the mother and nurture yourself, right? The mother goddess. Is that
Yeah.
what, the mother energy?
Yep.
And you can also tap into the grandmother energy, the wise woman energy, because you've been through all the shit. Like you've been through all of it. So you could write a book on this.
Yeah.
And when you find yourself acting out again from the wounded inner child, which for you probably looks like people pleasing, not listening to your body, and we can talk about emotional eating too, because that's not in itself a bad thing at all. Emotional eating is healthy because That's you learning how to cope with your emotions. I mean,
Right.
I don't know how old you are, but the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years that you were, before when you're doing competing, you numbed yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't allow yourself to feel your emotions. So you're learning how to be with them. And if food makes you feel safe, let food make you feel safe. The more you fight and resist that, the louder it's going to be for you and the more shame that's going to come up. But if you just love what is and stop fighting with reality and telling, like, you're creating suffering in your own mind when you tell yourself you should be doing something that you should not be doing something that you're doing, you then create this like cognitive dissonance with yourself. So being present to it and being conscious of it, that's all it is. Big secret to life, you guys. Just be more aware.
Yes.
And it's like, am I eating this chocolate because I'm trying to avoid or numb a pain?
Yeah.
And am I willing to sit with that pain as I eat the chocolate? Or am I just going to eat the chocolate because I don't want to deal with it? Or am I just eating the chocolate because I want it? It's just a matter of checking in, which easier said than done, I know. It takes a little bit to just like develop the habit of it, but I can give you some tips later. So going to the emotional eating, again, that's just a wounded inner child acting out. So I always say that food and body image is a symptom of something deeper.
Yeah.
So when the emotional eating happens, then it's a cue to yourself to be like, where was I not honoring my needs this week? Where was I putting other people first? Where was I not advocating for myself and my own boundaries? And where was I not loving myself? Like maybe that happened on a Monday, and now on a Friday, your inner child is pissed. And the only way she knows how to cope and soothe is through food. So
Yeah.
instead of mad at yourself for it, checking in again and being like, how did I treat myself this week? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Cool, cool. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So finding just small pockets where you can love and see yourself is going to open it up for your entire world.
Yes. That's what I'm working on.
What does that look like for
Um, well, journaling has helped for sure. Yeah. That's a big one. I actually wrote just a page of what my highest self looks like, and I try and read that every day. Um, and that one of the biggest things is you're enough, like self-worth, you no matter what, and listening to myself, like kind of like what you're saying, just what am I trying to numb when I just go to the cupboard? Like, wait a minute, I'm trying to discover deep down what is that really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And
proud.
journaling, and I need to meditate more, but I have started doing that a little bit. Um,
You
and
get
just listening to my body
mm-hmm.
and what it needs and not ignoring it.
Those are 3 big things. And that's like actually the love work I give to my clients. So good.
Yay.
Stillness. So maybe changing meditation for stillness and seeing how that helps you, because that could even be a walk outside. It doesn't have to be like sitting with your eyes closed, but starting to, like we talked about, me and Lucas talked about, paying into that relationship.
Yeah.
And it is a sacrifice. It takes time. And if meditation is something that you're avoiding, like I was last year, then getting real with yourself and being like, why, like, what am I protecting myself from? Because on a certain level, habits that serve you, if you're not implementing them, it's because deep down on some level you don't think you're worthy of it. So what do you think you're not worthy of? 10 minutes of downtime? Right? It's that productivity.
Yeah. And I think I still need to, I don't know why, but I feel like I still have to like do some weights. Like, and I enjoy weightlifting. I have some at home, now, with the current times, but I still feel like I'm avoiding doing replacing that sometimes with the yoga, or if it's just stillness, and accepting that that's okay. You don't have to lift weights to exercise, that maybe I need that yoga or that stillness. Um, I definitely think I probably still struggle with that a little bit, because part of me is, you got to lift the weights, you got to maintain your muscle, or you got to get a minimum of 20 minutes in, or 30 minutes, or however much it is. Uh, and what am I avoiding?
Yeah.
The deep stuff with the stillness.
Yeah. Because what comes up during then, right?
Yeah,
Are you strong enough to handle it?
I believe I am working on it, and I'm getting there.
Are you
Not
strong,
there yet.
are you strong enough?
Yes,
You're
yes,
strong.
yeah,
You are. That's one of your intentions. I am strong enough to handle whatever life throws at me. I'm strong enough to handle my inner darkness. I'm strong enough to handle my shadows.
yeah,
And it's going to feel like you're drowning sometimes. But I
yeah.
promise you're in a kiddie pool. It's only 2 feet deep. You're going to be okay.
Yes,
I love that. I'm so honored to meet you and just to connect with you today. I just want you to know that you are good enough. And let's take a moment to talk about your achievements,
thank you.
because
Yeah,
you do a lot. And right now, I want you to share with us like your business, what you do, what you've achieved, what you're planning on doing, your some of your dreams, and then as you're sharing with me, I want you to think about your 13-year-old self sitting next to you. Would she have ever? I mean, she knew she was going to be successful, and that was like the deep desire within her. But let her hear all that you've done.
yeah. Um, wow, I will say, I'm proud of how much I've gone through and what I've done. I've been in the automotive industry for almost 13 years, which it is a tough, very male dominant industry, very hard. And I'm actually in commercial fleet now, and I've been doing that for almost 4 years, and I am the only woman in my entire department. Yeah, so I have a bunch of older brothers and grandpas. But that in itself is definitely a struggle. So I'm proud of myself. That's an accomplishment, that I have been successful in a department that many people may even be afraid to try and not know. And I stuck it out too. Believe me, there's been many times where I'm like, I can't do this. I just can't do this. Um, so I've learned a lot of, I don't know if grit's the right word, but yeah, sticking through it, even if you see yourself being successful, and just sticking to that path. Um, and then on top of that, when I moved to Arizona, I started my own business. I knew nobody here, like literally nobody, totally on my own. And I teach painting classes, wine glass painting classes. I love art, and that's kind of my other passion that I want to tap even more into. So I started teaching these wine glass painting classes, and I met so many amazing women. Mainly, it's because it's mainly women that come to my classes, but it's just a blast, and it's so rewarding to. I see these women who get together, they start drinking some wine, they're painting, they're laughing, because these are a lot of times it's moms, or it's sisters, or it's friends that come from all over the country. They're in town for the weekend. They get together, they share their memories, they talk, and it's such a good feeling to see them enjoying themselves and having a good time, and knowing like I provided that like service, and then they're so happy that their glass that they think they can't paint at all and it looks amazing. Like, so that's just a really rewarding feeling with my business, and I plan on continuing to grow it and expand with my painting and doing a lot more of my painting and drawing. I love doing that, and I love going fast too. So cars will always be part of my life. My fiance and I, we love cars. He owns an auto repair shop. We got a couple old classic Porsches we're gonna take out and drive, and I'm going to racing school next week. So who knows? I may be a future race car driver instructor.
That's amazing.
Yes, yes. I have a great idea of like being a women, like having a women's driving school and being an instructor. Like, how cool would that be? So lots of big dreams and plans for the future, and I can't wait to be a mom, or that is in my future as well. So uh, it's all amazing stuff, and I just love life, and I love learning right now more than ever. And I'm than when I was in my 20s. It's life is getting better every day. So I'm so appreciative of the people that I met too. Yeah.
And you did that.
Yeah, I got here.
You didn't need anyone holding your hand, guiding you. And I think that like something for you to even maybe think about is like you've been holding your own hand.
Yeah. There's been many times where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, but somehow I did. I pushed through, and that was where I was holding my own hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to invite you to, maybe this might resonate, maybe it might not, but it's time to let go of the survival mode.
Yep. That is absolutely what I have been for the past 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Survival.
Mm-hmm. It's time to shift from, and like, I just need to make this a program, like, because it's like literally what I did last year. Shifting from surviving to thriving.
Yes.
Like you made it. Like this, like when we're in that survival mode, we're like clawing our way to like the top, like that place. When in reality, like we've been there the whole time, and being in that wounded masculine energy of surviving, right? Like just really like clawing our way through it actually takes away from being able to enjoy all that you've created.
Yeah. Because it's that constant, like I have to keep going. I have to keep surviving, keep surviving. And a lot of people would reach out to me and be like, "Oh my gosh, you have your own business. Like that's so cool." And for me, I'm like, "Oh, it's nothing." Like, but no, you're right. Thank you for saying that. Like, but I need to see that and appreciate that too. Everybody else around me would tell me, you're doing so well. You're like you got your own business, and I didn't realize it myself, or I didn't even give myself that, not, I don't know if credit is the right word, but that yes, you've done it.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because if you think like, I mean, this, we're the same person. We don't give ourselves credit because if we take the gas off the pedal, we might lose it all, or like we may not continue, or like it's just not good enough.
Oh, I'm terrified of that. Yep. 100%.
I can't take the gas off the pedal. It's not good enough. I'm not there yet. And so I can't stop to acknowledge all that I've done, because what if I do acknowledge it and it's not good enough?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, my biggest fear is not reaching my potential.
Yeah.
I think we're the same, like highly ambitious. And so if we stop to smell the roses, what if I get disappointed that it's not good enough? So instead, I'm just going to keep surviving. I'm just going to keep pushing. I'm just going to keep clawing my way through so that I can avoid being proud of myself. Because if I look and it's not good enough, what does that mean about me?
Yeah. That's I can't I mean that's exactly it.
Years of therapy figured it out. So I'm going to shorten everyone else's therapy years. There's your answer. This is a tangent, but have you seen that movie Molly's Game?
No, I haven't.
God, you'll love it. It's about this. I don't know. You kind of remind me of her a little bit. She was an Olympic athlete. She was a slalom skier, and
Mhm.
broke both her legs. I think she was in like the running for the Olympics or something. And so because she broke her legs and she had no money, she decided to. She was like went back to school, and then she became a poker dealer.
Wow.
Yeah, and she created this like it's like based on true story. Created this like huge like what's it called when like the high limits when they like bet like millions of dollars something like that. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna give away the movie, but at the very end, her dad is a therapist, and he like kind of says something along those lines. That's where I got that line from, but I'm not gonna tell you, so I don't want to ruin it. So, the movie,
Oh my gosh, I totally have to watch it.
Molly's Game, it's really good.
Okay.
So yeah, that's sometimes I just want everyone to know that like Alexandra and I like literally just started talking a couple weeks ago, and we're never alone in the things that we go through. So if you're at home really feeling like you're not good enough, really feeling like no matter how much you try it's just not working out, and you might as well just quit, or you just keep pushing yourself because you're trying to meet it, like we don't quit, right? I know you, we're not quitters around here. And so instead, you just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing until you reach a point where, kind of like in the competitions, like our body just breaks down, and the hormones and the stress. And circling back to like what you said in the very beginning, it's not your food, it's not your supplements, it's not your exercise, it's how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
And that has a much bigger impact on our energy and everything. Everything comes from the inside. So as you start to forgive yourself and release the resentment and call in this love, and mostly love for your inner child, like love for yourself and giving yourself that validation, giving yourself, gosh, just taking a moment to be proud and really like sitting with that and integrating before you go for the next like goal. And
Yeah.
like instead of like what's my next thing, like what's my next thing, what's my next thing, like sitting with like what you achieved and just like be with it and
Yeah.
just chill,
Yes.
chill.
Yes. It's okay. You don't have to be go, go, go 100% all the time. Like,
You've created all the safety around you, your house, your business, I mean like your side passion business plus your career, and now
yeah.
you're engaged.
Yeah.
You have all this external safety, but you don't feel safe inside.
Yeah.
And that's where that work that you're doing it, that's what's going to happen as you start to cultivate safety from within, and you feel safe to be in stillness, you feel safe to allow yourself to eat whatever you want, you feel safe in your body. um, Letting go of that attachment to what exercise does for your body, right? Like attachment to like it being a means to an end. I have to lift weights so I look this way. Letting that go and allowing yourself just to be safe in your body and not putting these expectations and these attachments to how it needs to look. The more of that work that you do, I think your hormones are going to feel better.
Yeah.
I think the cortisol is going to reduce. And I think you will just feel better.
Yes. Listening to myself, getting more sleep. That's another one. And just taking a deep breath and letting it out. And being like, it's okay. It's all okay. Everything is okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You're safe.
Yes. Yes.
You're safe. to be with myself here. Like, I'm going to be okay. Something I tell my inner child all the time is, I got you. Don't worry. Back then, you didn't have anyone advocating for you, anyone making you feel loved, but I have you. Like we can stop like searching for validation everywhere because I will validate you. We can stop trying to accumulate all the things to feel good enough. Like I used to be in this space where I would like launch program after program after program because I needed that validation to feel like I was doing something, to feel like I was good enough. And that's a wounded inner child. And so I tell her all the time, like, we can relax because I got you. I'm not going anywhere. We have a lifetime to work. There's never not going to be a time where I'm not working. So we can do this. So I'd love to invite you to think about your passions and how can you bring more of that into your life, because that's the feminine.
Yes. Yes.
Like the kitten rescue that I know you wanna do.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh my God, starting that rescue this summer, I need to do a podcast episode on this because it has completely shifted my energy. Like completely. It was something that I did just because I needed to do it at the time and I felt very drawn to it. But now, like 3 months later, looking back, I'm like, wow, it has impacted my business. I make more money and I work less. It has impacted my energy and just like the love that I feel for myself. And it's a reciprocity. Like I give the kittens love and they give me love back.
Unconditional love. That's why I love cats. Oh my gosh.
I love cats. I used to
Animals.
cats. Listen, yeah. I mean, I love my dogs too. Love you guys. Cats are depth. Cats have depth.
Yes. Yes, they do.
You feel chosen. But yeah, so for accountability in your love work, what I'd love for you to do is schedule that white space into your calendar. First schedule it, and then later on, like make it so that it's not scheduled, right? So like see like what you can take off your plate, and then in lieu of that, dedicate yourself to your passions and your hobbies. Like
Yeah.
what you like to do as a kid that you no longer allow yourself to do anymore because it's not productive or makes money.
Yeah.
And that will help you connect with your inner child more. And that will also bring you more to your feminine.
And that's I feel like that's where I'm at. Like I envision and I see myself, I see my life as having my little kittens that I rescue and doing my painting and my classes. I love all that stuff and I want to do more of it. I just am right at that point. I need to make that actual shift.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my reality.
Mm-hmm. It's a choice.
Yes.
We're never stuck. You have free will.
Yes. It's hard. I feel like sometimes I've struggled with, oh, I got to stay in this career because it's, I make decent money or I can be more successful at it, or I've been doing it for so long. So it's also comfortable and it's uncomfortable leaving it. But I know that the reward for leaving it and the satisfaction and happiness that I will feel that when I'm actually doing my passion and doing those things every day, my life's going to change 100%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh man. I used to do competition coaching. Leaving that was the hardest thing ever. And it was comfortable. I had clients coming at me left and right. I didn't even have to promote myself. Had a wait list. I mean, my business was booked and it was booked out in advance because people would reach out to me a year beforehand.
Yeah.
So I know.
So
And
how did you finally get to that point? Where were you like, okay, I'm switching, like I'm shifting?
I'm going to send you with my coach because I think that'd be really, because that's what we talk about. But one was switching my mindset from I have to burn down my competition business to start a new business. Okay. You don't have to. Like we think in this like all or nothing mentality. No.
Yeah.
it's an and. It's not this or that. It's this and that. I can have my automobile career and I can do these other things on the side. And maybe it means you reduce your hours. Maybe it means you work part-time, but think about how you can integrate it versus just ditching it completely. And then the second thing I did was I really took a look at my core values. And for me personally, I could not be a competition coach anymore. And it was funny because it was the show that I did with Dr. Morgan where I said it for the first time. I was like, I don't think I want to do competition coaching anymore. And that was like March of last year. And I had a full like 10 girls competing like the rest of the
Wow.
So I sat with that for a long time. Last year, I cried like every day because I was so just at war with myself. Because on one hand, I love the post competition and helping women with that. And I also know that helping them with the pre comp stuff was going to set them up for success post comp. But it wasn't aligning with my values. And I could not be in integrity with dieting a woman down to, 10 pounds lighter than she needs to be for a show. Like I could not be in integrity with that anymore because like what I was saying online was not the same that I was doing with my business and my coaching clients. And then so I had to get real honest with myself and just be like, this isn't an integrity. It's not aligned with my values. I have to let it go. And so what ended up happening was I let each competition client know, like I honored the contract. I even flew to freaking Australia for like 2 of my clients. I did all the things.
Yeah.
Looking for that validation, looking for that success because I had built my business to soothe my ego. So that's another thing for you to think about. The automobile stuff, like, am I doing this for my ego? What parts of it are for my ego? And if I get really honest with myself, once you turn on the lights, you can't unsee. What are the parts of this business that I really love and that I really want to stay with? And then what are the parts that I really can't align with anymore? And am I just doing it to soothe my ego? So I have a handful of coaching clients still. I have like 2 clients that want to compete next year, but I kept them and I was really honest with them and, had not a hard conversation, but like a heart to heart, so that they knew where I was coming from, where I was like, I'm not going to post about this online. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to see me advertise myself as a competition prep coach, but I'm fully committed to the person, not the goal. And so the ladies that I knew were not going to get an eating disorder, and then we're not taking it too far because there's just a personality.
Yep.
I could stay in integrity with coaching them, but I haven't signed on any, so it's kind of like this balance where it can't be all or nothing. We cannot burn down our house. You can't quit tomorrow, Alexandria, okay?
Right. I know.
That's a rule I have in my coaching programs. Like if we like uncover something, you are not allowed to make any big life altering decisions for 48 hours. So don't go
But
do
after 48, no, I'm just kidding.
then we can talk. But it's just an opportunity to check in, and it doesn't have to be burning something down to build something new. There can be a slow integration, a slow switch, and you might even find that you feel good still doing your automotive career, but the energy behind how you do it changes, and that might be the big shift. So yeah, that's a whole nother conversation that I'd love to have.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we like went way over. So thank you guys for listening. I hope that you guys enjoyed our episode today. And if anything that Alexandria said resonated with you, can they tag you on Instagram?
Yes, please. It's Alexandria R3. And if you, resonated or you have questions, I would love to, I share my story or talk more with anybody because like you said, you're not alone. And I've felt alone for a long time. So if you're feeling that way, we're here.
And if you're in Arizona, hit her up for the painting classes.
Yes, wine glass painting classes, or if you want to go hiking, I absolutely love hiking anytime.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Don't forget to be your highest self.
Thank you.